up, guys? Paramoto here. How are you guys doing today? Today, I'm doing fantastic. So, guys, I want to talk about a topic today that I unfortunately have a little bit too much experience with, and that's how to pick up the pieces after you have a motorcycle accident. The way that I want to break down this video is basically, I want to break it down personal injury side, property damage side. Basically, take care of yourself, then how to take care of your motorcycle when it comes down to like insurance companies and medical bills and all sorts of things. If you guys have been watching the channel for the last year and a half, coming up on 2 years, you'll know that I wrecked 2 Honda CBR 600RRs. Well, one of which was avoidable, the other one was kind of just a bad circumstance, I guess. So you've had a motorcycle accident. How do you move on from here? So one, take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself before everything else. So that means going to the doctor, going to the hospital if needed. You know, even, ride the ambulance if you have to. If you don't have a ride the ambulance if you have to. Most of the time, if you have a motorcycle wreck, it's gonna meet like trauma criteria, because I think CDC trauma criteria is like any wreck above 35 miles an hour, your ambulance crew will probably run you to the hospital hot, and you'll get like basically first dibs on the ER doctor because of just the mechanism and everything like that, and it's just so likely that you'll be injured. Sometimes very seriously, to be honest with you. One wreck that I had, I rode my motorcycle home. The other wreck, I had to go by ambulance because I could barely walk and my hand was like pissing blood out everywhere. Well, I was happy that I did it, and I saw a doctor pretty much right away, even though I went to a really bad hospital that kind of sucked, and they were known for sucking. It is what it is. I at least got seen. You don't want to be like me. You don't want to end up having like an injury that you just let go. Like I've broken both of my feet in my wrecks. I've broken ankles. I've broken a lot of bones. I've reconfigured the anatomy in my feet and my ankles over the years because of motorcycle wrecks. You don't want to be like me. You don't want to let that stuff go and then end up, basically having to live basically like a lifelong disability. Minor though it might be, it's still a lifelong thing that you're gonna have to deal with if you don't get things fixed right away. So get yourself fixed. Think about the bills later, especially if you're not gonna be at fault for the wreck. Somebody else is gonna foot your bills anyway. You just gotta tell them like, hey, I ended up telling the hospitals like, hey, I don't have the money to pay you, but I'm a not at fault party at this wreck, and we'll get you paid eventually. And they hopefully won't send your stuff to collections and all that nonsense, but it might be something that you have to deal with for a little bit, is the hospital's kind of trying to grab at your wallet. Number one is you. Make sure that you're okay. Make sure that you're not going to live with a lifelong disability. Next thing I want to talk about is your motorcycle, okay? And then we'll come back around to how you deal with your insurance companies, the medical bills, and all that stuff. But right now, your motorcycle, what will end up happening, especially if you get taken to the hospital by ambulance, is that your motorcycle will get towed to whatever city law enforcement agency has like a deal with the city lot, and it'll get towed there to basically like you got to settle up with them at a later time to get your bike out, or your insurance company. I'll be totally honest with you. When it comes down to motorcycles, your bike will most likely be totaled. Both of my accidents, the first one was major. I cracked the engine block. It was totaled. The second one, it was just basically cosmetic damage, and the bike was mechanically basically fine, and it was totaled as well. So expect when you're dealing with insurance companies to deal with your property damage that they're gonna be totaled. It's so easy to total a motorcycle. Like all you have to do is scratch up some fairings and scratch up a swing arm, and the way that the estimates go is that you can't just like fix them, you have to replace them. So I mean, if you look up fairings, if you've never looked up fairings before, they get quite pricey. If you guys have never looked up fairings before, I didn't really know this until I wrecked. My Honda CBR 600RR, it didn't have a standard gas tank. It had a plastic gas tank underneath the fairing. The fairing itself was called the shelter top, and it was $1,100 for what is at the end of the day just a piece of plastic, And it's crazy what they'll end up charging you for plastics. So be prepared when you use an insurance company. So basically, they're gonna total your stuff out. So there's really 2 ways that you could deal with your bike being totaled out, okay? If you use your insurance company, expect that your bike is most likely gonna be totaled out. You can do one of 2 things with a motorcycle that's been totaled out, okay? You can settle with your insurance company to deal with a lot of the damage so you can keep your motorcycle, keep it with the clean title, or you can just kind of just let them total it out and just pay you out for your bike. I will caution you about using your insurance company though. A lot of insurance companies will charge you extra by assigning you basically higher risk, and you're going to end up paying more money for a length of time that's probably somewhere around the realm of 3 years. So if you end up using your insurance company, just know that they're going to get their money back eventually. It might behoove you to just pay for the damages out of pocket, because if you got $5,000-$6,000 worth of damage on like this bike, this thing's probably still worth $12,000-$13,000. it might just make sense for me to just slowly repair the damage on my own and leave the insurance company out of it. That'll do a couple things for you, okay? Number one, your rates won't go up. Number two, your bike won't go on Carfax as being in a wreck, and it'll keep your resale value up. So it really behooves you to just kind of deal with the damage on your own if you're not going to just total it out. If you end up totaling out your motorcycle, expect it to take about a month to handle the property damage side of things. I mean, honestly, it's going to take about a month. They have to come in, assess your bike, assess what it's worth, assess basically everything, and then give you a payout, which is probably going to come via check, via snail mail, or by a direct deposit. I've gotten pretty good value out of the first motorcycle. The second motorcycle, I ended up haggling with my insurance company, and they paid me enough money to basically get an entire new set of aftermarket plastics and fix a couple of things that got messed up. And everything else was basically fine. Your property damage is probably going to take about a month, okay? One thing that people don't know about your property damage side, your jacket, your helmet, everything needs to be replaced after a wreck. They'll pay you out the value of your gear that needs to be replaced. Even if you think your helmet's fine, get it replaced. They'll pay for it because you don't know. You don't know what happened. These helmets are so good. Could have hit your head off the ground and compromised the inside of the helmet, and you don't even know. They'll pay you for your gear to replace it for resale value. You might as well. You know, especially if you're doing this on somebody else's dime, like if somebody was the at-fault party at this wreck, go ahead and have them replace all your gear. Don't accept some lowball offers from the insurance companies, because that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to lowball you because that's their job. So guys, let's just say it took a month to settle out your property damage. You got your payout. What do you do next? Especially if you're not at fault and you got actually injured, like bones broken and stuff like I have. Go get yourself a personal injury lawyer. It's not worth it. It's not worth haggling with the insurance companies. They'll end up charging a fee, which is typically like a third of the settlement, but they're going to get you more money. I did it on my first wreck, and after dealing with the property damage side on my first wreck, I couldn't deal with insurance companies anymore. And I just went to a personal injury attorney. I'm like, hey, I got hit on my motorcycle. Get whatever you can out of this person, because they deserve to be taken through the ringer because they were careless and reckless, and they damn near killed me. And he obliged. I know that makes me sound petty, but I'll be totally honest with you guys. When I got hit, this kid turned left out of a right turn only directly into my path of travel and totaled an 8-day-old motorcycle. So I know I sound petty by saying take this kid through the ringer, but you know what? He deserved to be taken through the ringer because he had been careless and reckless, found to be careless and reckless in court multiple times, and he was still on the road for some reason. His record was against him, you know? But you need to expect when you use a personal injury attorney is that nothing is going to go fast. I'm talking you're probably going to have to wait about a year to get settled out, okay? And that's for a few reasons. One, the legal system is super slow. Two, you have to wait until all of your injuries hash out before you can put a monetary value on them. So like for me, I basically have no feeling in the right side of my leg from that wreck, and my right hand got shattered, mainly my right thumb. My right thumb basically got shattered, which is about 70% of the usage of your hand. So I'm severely affected by my injuries that I sustained that day. So I rushed, and I didn't get everything out of it that I could have, and I think I ended up getting settled out for like $11,000. I probably should have gotten more, but it is what it is. I'm fine with it. It paid off some student loan debt. It looks like the store that I was going to is closed. They're closed on Sunday. Oh well. So yeah, I ended up getting $11,000, and the lawyer took his chunk out of it. I think I got like $7 something, maybe $8,000 total. But I didn't have to really do anything. Like, the lawyer just kind of took it from there. I released my medical records to him, and you know what? They took care of it, which made it totally worth it to me, because insurance companies will basically try to cause as much headaches as they possibly can for you until you go away. That's what they want you to do. They want you to go away. And if it's not money, if they can get away with giving you as little money as possible, they're gonna do it. So you just gotta be persistent. You gotta be persistent with them. Don't be the easy guy. Don't roll over. Make sure that you get a good deal for what you are owed. So the way that the law is written, at least in Ohio where I got hit, is that the insurance company is in charge of making the injured party whole. So with the easy guys, don't roll over, don't take the first amount. You have to make sure that you're strong and you hold steadfast, and you make sure that you get what you deserve and get what's actually owed to you, instead of just, you know, taking the first offer. Oh, I guess I'll take the $2,000 or $3,000 to go away. Because insurance companies, at the end of the day, they'll make you sign something that says you're not gonna basically come after them for any more money. So you make sure you get what you deserve out of them. You make sure you get what you're owed, and you're actually made whole, because that is what their job actually is, to make you whole. not make your hole larger. So guys, that's basically what I have to share with you regarding property damage, personal injury, and dealing with insurance companies. The insurance company that you're dealing with, if they decide to shaft you or they decide to do something else, like not give you what you're owed, if you're out money, remember, you can always civilly sue the person that hit you, the person that caused the accident to occur. You guys got to remember that, because I didn't know that, because I was a naive 25-year-old that really didn't know anything about life at the time. And you know, I really should have gone after the guy for about, like, I would say at least $3,000 more, because I ended up being basically out that money from a trade-in from the previous motorcycle. I should have gone after him for $2,000 or $3,000 more dollars just to become whole again financially. So guys, that's what I have to share. Okay, so when it comes down to it, there's a million other bikes out there, but only one of you. So make sure you take care of yourself first in the event of an accident. Make sure that you get any injuries taken care of. Don't be a Paramoto. Don't let bones just heal on their own and stuff like that. Actually go to the hospital, go to the doctor, get some x-rays, get things done right, so you don't end up, you know, like me, like basically rolling an ankle every time you go for a run just because your ankle was broken and the anatomy was totally rearranged. After that, make sure that you become whole from the insurance companies. Don't let them shaft you. If the party that hits you's insurance company fails to do what they're responsible to do, namely fix the problems that their driver caused, keep in mind you can always sue them civilly. This has been my experience with insurance companies and dealing with wrecks. I hope you guys stay safe on the road. I hope you guys never have to experience one. But if you do, I hope I put some seeds in your mind about what can be done. And I hope that at the end of the day, if you guys get in a wreck, this at least prepares you for the ensuing months of kind of headaches and stuff. Prepares you, gets your minds right, just so you don't have to basically suffer through the process. You can actually know what's going on. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you guys. Deuces.